Most of the world's trade moves by ship. Shipping was the first global industry. Seafarers, the first truly international workforce. They are the vital link to safe and secure shipping. The link between the ship and the seafarer is recognized by the 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. To work well, seafarers must have decent conditions of work. Decent conditions attract and keep the best possible workforce, ensure maritime safety and security, protect the marine environment, and ensure a level playing field for ship owners and fair competition among them. Most important, decent work is a basic right and an essential aspect of human dignity.
I've been 18 years at sea, but for me, it's a good life for me. Half of my life is already at sea,
Do you like the sea?
Yeah.
What do you like about this life?
I like the traveling and work and earn more money. That's it.
The work is hard?
Yeah, the work is hard, but it's all right with me. No problem.
Yeah.
Since 1920, the International Labor Organization, the ILO, has adopted more than 70 legal instruments concerning seafarers' working and living conditions. However, the ratification and implementation of these internationally agreed standards has not reflected the truly global nature of the industry, and their enforcement has also been uneven. In 2001, the representatives of the world's ship owners and seafarers called on the ILO to devise a new legal instrument that would be comprehensive, globally applicable, easy to understand, easy to update, and uniformly enforced. They called for a convention that would be the fourth pillar of the international regulatory system for shipping, complementing the major international conventions adopted by the International Maritime Organization, or the IMO, for the safety of life at sea, known as SOLAS, the International Convention on Standards of Training, Certification and Watchkeeping for Seafarers, known as STCW, and the International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution from Ships, known as MARPOL. On 23 February 2006, the 94th International Labor Conference overwhelmingly adopted the 100-page Maritime Labor Convention, known as the MLC 2006, with no votes against it. The MLC 2006 brings together almost all the existing maritime labor standards into a single instrument and provides a one-stop shop, a comprehensive statement of principles and rights concerning decent conditions of work for all seafarers.
Well, the seafarers feel strongly that the convention gives seafarers the rights that they have not had. They've had several of the conventions ratified in certain countries, several other conventions ratified in other countries, but bringing the MLC into force brings all of the conventions, in a sense, all together. It gives them the ability and the teeth to put forward claims at protection.
The ship owners do like regulation. And the reason we like regulation is it brings in a level playing field. There are people who operate at the margins. The barriers to entry into the shipping industry are fairly low. We do have participants in the shipping industry who will find ways of perhaps operating their ships not at the standards that we think are the right standards. We do like regulation that creates a level playing field.
The regulations and the code of the MLC 2006 cover all aspects of working and living conditions for seafarers, including the minimum requirements for seafarers to work on a ship. Also speaks to minimum standards for matters such as onboard accommodation and recreational facilities, food and catering, as well as medical care on board ship, ship owners' liability, health and safety protection, and accident prevention. Access to shore-based welfare facilities and Social Security are also addressed. Seafarers must be properly informed of the Convention's requirements. They have the right to complain about substandard conditions, and ship owners have to ensure that the flag state's national laws and regulations are obeyed on board their ships.
Part of the world we are well covered with the laws. In the other part kind of world we are not so well covered. If I don't have the law support, I cannot do anything. Because every country have own law, but sometimes it helps me, sometimes it don't help me.
The convention has a specific section, Title V, designed to promote compliance awareness at every level, from the national flag state system of inspection and, where required, certification of working and living conditions on ships, to provision for seafarers to make complaints on board or ashore, to the international system of inspection of foreign ships coming into port, also known as port state control. This compliance and enforcement system is backed up by the ILO supervisory system, which looks at how countries have fulfilled their obligations under labor conventions.
We decided to ratify early to give a signal to the maritime industry that Norway, as a major flag state, regards this as a very important new instrument, probably the most important new maritime instrument in a long time. The working living standards shouldn't be part of the competitiveness of a flag state. So that should be an even application of labor standards across ships of all flag states. So that's why the MLC is an important convention to Norway.
The reason why we are going to ratify the convention is that the convention has two very important elements. One is no more favorable treatment clause. So in order for Korean ships to be operated successfully, we have to ratify the convention. And secondly, the convention has simplified amendment procedures. So which means that through that simplified amendment procedures, the contents of the MLC will be amended more often than before. So we should be able to be in line with the changes of the international labor standard.
All ships covered by the convention must be inspected by the flag state. Ships of 500 gross tonnage and above on international voyages or on voyages from or between ports in other countries must carry a maritime labor certificate and a declaration of maritime labor compliance issued by the flag state after inspection. Together, these documents show officers in foreign ports that the ship complies with the convention. The ships may be subject to detailed inspections and even detention to ensure that the convention's requirements are met. This will put pressure on ships and ship owners who fail to comply, while providing an incentive to those who do comply. In addition, the MLC 2006 contains a no more favorable treatment provision regarding the inspection in ports of ships flying the flag of countries that have not ratified the convention. This will help to ensure a level playing field, fair competition for ship owners.
We are now in the process of building momentum for the entry into force of the ILO's most innovative and most far-reaching convention, because it's an ILO convention that has teeth. It's an ILO convention that provides for the first time for certification of labor conditions, and this time it's labor conditions on board ship. I am very optimistic that this Maritime Labor Convention will also point the way in terms of how an ILO convention can actually deliver for the people and provide decent work for workers, whether they are seafarers or land-based workers in factories all around the world.